Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nick and today I'm continuing my Friday the 13th review series with part 7, The New Blood. Again guys, I am not alone in this review series. We got reviews and rankings with Robbie Sobel, we got Filthy Dan's film discussion, we got Moser movie reviews, and we got the boys over at Good Real Hunting all putting out reviews the same day as me guys, so go check them out. Links will be down in the description. We also got House of the Living Dead's channel, who hosts watch alongs to these Friday the 13th movies we just reviewed every Friday night. So, link for them will also be in the description. And wait, there's more. We also get a Friday the 13th award show, guys. In August 13th is the date that will be released. I'll put a link to Jason Nike's channel in the description. It's the J-Man's Movie Cave, and he'll be hosting it. And there's a lot of YouTubers going to be involved in this, myself included, so you don't want to miss it, and it's going to be a great show. So without wasting any more time, guys, let's dive into this film. Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, was released in 1988. It stars Lar Park, Lincoln, Terry Kaiser, and Kane Hodder, and it was directed by John Carr Buechler. Now, The New Blood is quite an odd direction to take this franchise. We're at the point where anything goes in these entries with these sequels. We're so far down the road that yeah, that's why we start getting these telekinesis type stories and eventually go to Manhattan and all the way to space after this. So the sky's the limit. But the title itself is kind of odd, The New Blood. I never really understood why it was named that. I always found it was kind of weird. This film was basically supposed to be Freddy versus Jason. That was the idea at first. It came way back in like 87, the idea for Freddy versus Jason. But both studios like Paramount and New Line Cinema couldn't come to agreement yet, so we ended up getting essentially like a Carrie versus Jason in this film. And this movie starts off with flashback scenes of the previous films, but this time I find it's cut together very well. It's pretty quick paced, and we get a lot of part 6 in the flashbacks, which is my favorite, so that was always nice. And when the opening credits start, the score that we get is a little different from what we're used to. It's like Friday the 13th score mixed with almost like the Terminator or something. You hear the it's like a lot of the action movies from the late 80s use that type of score. And I feel like they kind of incorporated that here with Friday the 13th's original score. And the film supposedly starts off in 1988. We get this girl named Tina. She's just a little kid, and she's witnessing her parents in a domestic dispute. They're fighting, and she's scared and mad at her father for fighting with her mother. So she runs out into the lake. He follows her, and this is where we realize, and she realizes, that she actually has telekinesis powers, because since she was so angry at her father for like beating her mom and that, she was in such a rage that her emotions forced her to use her abilities. They came out without her even knowing, and it collapses the dock that her father is on, and essentially killing him. And it's not what she wanted. She was just mad at him at the time, and you can really see it on her face after it happens that was a big mistake. And yeah, but she can't control her powers at all, and they seem to just come out when her emotions are at an all-time high. And for a girl at her age to go through something tragic like this, killing her own father by accident, it's going to leave an emotional scar. It's going to leave a mental scar, and you really see that in the future when we get to where Tina is a young adult, late teen, and she is really suffering over the whole situation. And she has a hard time to deal with it. Her mother gets her a therapist, Dr. Cruz, and his idea is to bring her back to where everything all started at her house, which was by the lake, Crystal Lake. How big is this lake? There's like 50 people live around this lake, and I don't know, it's just crazy to me. Yeah, Dr. Cruz convinces the mom and Tina that it's the only way she's going to heal is to go back to her childhood home off the lake and just try to recover from the pain. But what we learn to find out is that Dr. Cruz is an asshole. He's just exploiting Tina for his own gain. He's like screwing with her on purpose and manipulating her throughout this entire film. And honestly, he's one of the biggest assholes we ran into thus far. Probably the biggest out of anybody in the first 7 films. And now that we're in present day, and Tina, like I said, is like a late teen now, this is supposed to take place 10 years after the events when she was a kid. So this would be 1998 right now, if you're going by that logic. The internet seems pretty split on this. A lot of people say it was only 5 years after she was a kid and killed her father, but looking at her age, she's older than 5 years, like more than 5 years has passed. And plus, once you see Jason and the deterioration and the shape he's in, I think it's been at least 10 years. So I'm going with 10 years. We're in 1998, guys. And next door to Tina's childhood home in the woods, we get another house that's occupied by this group of late teens, young adults, and they're trying to throw a birthday party for one of their friends over there. Now, these kids next door, they're so goddamn forgettable. Honestly, they're probably the most forgettable out of this whole series, if I'm telling you the truth. There's only 2 I can remember their names, and I've seen this movie multiple times. One being Nick, which is like the only person who's nice to Tina, and he's a good guy. And we get Melissa, who is the big bitch next door. And it's probably the biggest bitch that we've gotten in this franchise as well. And neither one of them are real strong standouts or anything. It's just compared to the rest of the cast, yeah, they're standouts. But yeah, they're just okay. The only character I really get behind in this is Tina. They do a pretty good job at making the viewer feel real bad for Tina, our main character, who's going through a lot of things right now, especially how she's being manipulated by the doctor without her knowing. And yeah, I feel for her, and she's the only character I can really get behind. And Tina gets frustrated at Bad News Cruise, the doctor, and with everything that's going on, she runs out and starts crying and that and going to the lake and just wanting her dad back, you know? And so, since her emotions are super high, she starts using her telekinesis, and I think she's trying to bring back her father. Like, she senses something in the water, and she figures it's him, and she wants to bring him back. Unfortunately for her, this is the same spot where Tommy tied Jason down to the bottom of the lake, and Tina accidentally brings Jason out of the water, unchains him, and does he look gnarly as hell. If I have to give this movie credit for something, it's definitely Jason. He looks great. You get bones sticking out everywhere, his spinal cord in the back. You get like a part of this mask broke off, so you can see it's like part of his chin and his teeth. And it just looks great. He's decomposing in the water and deteriorating. I love how the clothes are all ripped and stuff, and he's still got the chain around his neck. It looks fantastic. Not to mention that Jason is played by Kane Hodder for the first time in the series. He will continue playing the role for a few entries. But yeah, he really sold it in this role. He's not my favorite Jason. I do prefer the more... Well, I like CJ Graham, and I like the more human Jasons. But he does bring his own flavor to the role. Like how he has that heavy breathing down pat, and just the way he walks. He very much made it his role, which I appreciate. So then Jason goes around killing off all the randoms in the film that no one gives a shit about. Not only do all the characters suck for the most part, but the kills kind of suck too, and it's not really the movie's fault. That's more the MPAA again, cutting back all the kills, getting them to remove the gore. You can barely see anything, or it's shown just for a second, or it's off screen. And it's a damn shame because, I mean, they butchered the hell out of this movie. The only redeemable kill really is the sleeping bag kill. And it's just because it's so original, right? And it's become super iconic by this point. But that's pretty much all we get. And I do like that one weapon he uses. It's almost like a weed whacker with a metal blade at the end. That's pretty cool too. But again, we don't really get to see it in action, which is too bad. And leading up to the showdown with Tina and Jason, we get so many scenes where people are running through the woods. I honestly, I want to time it next time I watch this. I feel like a half an hour of this movie is people running through the woods, and it all looks the same. Like, it's like, how is nobody getting lost in this woods? They're just always running in different directions in this woods. It's almost as... Well, it's pretty much worse than the barn in part 3. But finally, we do get the showdown with Tina versus Jason, Carrie versus Jason, whatever you want to call it. And it is great. It's what we've all been waiting for. It's the best part of the film. It's too bad that it takes like an hour and 12 minutes before it starts, and we only get like 15 minutes of it, maybe 20 minutes tops. But it is great what we do get to see. She's freaking electrocuting Jason, burning him, dropping freaking houses on him, nailing his ass, doing everything, choking him out. And it's pretty cool to actually see someone be able to fight back like that against Jason. He finally met his match. He's overpowered in this match, and there's nothing really he can do. And the stunt work is phenomenal by Kane Hodder when all this shit's happening to him, especially the fire stunt. The guy literally set himself on fire, no stunt double or nothing. He used to do stunts for other actors before, so he's doing it himself, and I think he even got burn scars from it. So just to show the commitment that he had for this role, and it looks great on camera. One of the best burn stunts ever, in my opinion. And also when the house is on fire and that and eventually explodes, it looks awesome. A real explosion, and you can tell it looks great. You see wood and shit flying and the big flames. Now in the battle between Jason and Tina, she ends up breaking the mask off of his face with her powers. And you get a look at his face, and it's almost like a mixture of Eddie from Iron Maiden, their mascot, mixed with like a Sloth from the Goonies. It looks good, I have to admit, but there's always something weird about it to me. Like, I don't know. He just looked a little off from how we seen him unmasked before. I know he's deteriorating like crazy and shit, but it doesn't look bad, don't get me wrong, but it's not my favorite unmasking of him. Then we finally get to like the final act, how they defeat Jason, and to me, this is the worst way to defeat Jason in the entire franchise. Yes, you heard it from me. It's terrible. She, I don't know, like freaking makes her dad appear out of the water and trip Jason and haul him back down and chain him back down to the bottom of the lake. In theory, that could kind of work. But he comes up looking like he never aged a bit. He looks the same as when he drowned. So to me, it's like pretty much her creating this ghost or creating this vision of him. It's essentially just her powers bringing him down. But I would have loved to see him come up all deteriorated and messed up like Jason and bringing him down. That would have been a pretty cool ending. But I don't know. We don't want to see our big, mean looking, terrifying Jason getting taken out by just a regular guy coming out of the water and grabbing him. Even though I know that was like Tina's powers or whatever, but still this ending never sat well with me, and it's the worst in the franchise. So in the end, I love Tina, I love Jason, and I love their little scuffle they get in at the end. It's pretty epic. I also love that the movie kept it more terrifying than comedic. They especially this being this late into the franchise, they didn't go that route. We actually get some pretty good atmosphere at times. It's just too bad, like I said, when it's leading up to the kill is very lacking. It's just too bad. I hate the lack of good kills, forgettable characters, and one of the dumbest endings I've ever seen. And it's too bad because this movie has so much potential, man. Like, on paper, we can make this an amazing movie. If you're going to remake any of the Friday 13th, I say remake this one and make it epic as hell with better characters and better kills, since we're able to do that nowadays. So for all the reasons I've mentioned, I'm going to have to give this a rating. I'm going to give this a 5.5 out of 10. I think it misses the mark. It's a real mixed bag for me. There's things I really love, but there's a lot of things I really hate. It just so happens I love Friday the 13th, so it keeps the score a little higher than what it probably should be. But I'm comfortable at giving this a 5.5. It doesn't get a passing mark for me, but it's very close. So guys, let me know how you feel about this film down below in the comments. Do you hate it? Do you like it? And give me a few reasons why or why not. Make sure to follow me on Letterboxd. That will also be down in the description, guys. And I try to keep that updated with my YouTube channel. And that's a wrap for another Friday the 13th review. Another one in the books, guys. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching.